How's my new Shin Megami Tensei t-shirt? This is upside down. This sucks. And the first question is, can you do a top 10 RPG series you discovered by accident or luck? Series? I don't think so. I could do a top 10 RPGs or top 10 JRPGs that I discovered by accident or luck. But series? I don't know. I think the majority of the series I kind of knew them beforehand, or I heard something about them or whatnot. I mean, I found out about them, right? But accident? I don't think so. Luck? Maybe. Luck? That's pretty much every JRPG series in existence. When I started playing JRPGs, I only knew Super Mario RPG, Final Fantasy, and Chrono, you know. And so every single series that I learned about after that was not really accident. It was just, or luck. It's just I found out about them because I wanted to know more. I was like, man, Final Fantasy and Chrono can't be and Mario can't be the only RPG series, right? There's gotta be more. And of course I came about Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, Dragon Quest, etc. But, you know, I'll give you something. There are some JRPG series that I found out, I don't want to say by accident, but yeah, more like out of luck. I've told my story before on how I randomly went to a flea market one day. It wasn't a flea market, it was just a big store with plenty of stores, gaming stores, and retro stores, but the majority of them sell only piracy. I mean, welcome to Mexico, baby. So I went there and I found I was buying copies after copies. You know, every time I went to this place, I used to buy a few copies of RPGs, random RPGs that I found. So I guess you could say series like Wild Arms, Breath of Fire, Grow Lancer. You know, I found them not exactly by accident, just by looking at them because I knew what I was going to. In that I knew what I knew why I was going there. You know, I went there trying to find some JRPGs. Okay, so I was like, okay, this looks like a JRPG. Yeah, this doesn't. Yeah, what did happen to me? Probably I can't think of an example right now, but it must have happened that I found a game, that I bought a game thinking it was going to be an RPG and it wasn't, or the other way around. You know, that's what happened to me with Chrono Cross, right? Everybody knows the story already, how I found out about Chrono Cross, because I bought it because the cover looked like it was going to be some kind of action game, some kind of beat 'em up with two characters. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to play this with my sister, right? And I took it home and I was like, the fuck is this? This is not a multiplayer cooperative mode game. This is like Mario RPG. This is a role-playing game. Right, that's how I found that. You could say that I found out about Chrono Cross by accident. So I don't think I'll ever do that video, but it's a fun idea. Maybe in one of these Q&As, you know, JRPGs that I found out about by accident. Chrono Cross is the best example. Grow Lancer Heritage of Wars, another example. One of those random days that I went there to buy games, and I bought Radiata Stories, and I knew it was going to be an RPG. But then Grow Lancer looked kind of weird, and I was like, what's this? Grow Lancer? What is this? So I took it home, and big surprise, right? Became a huge fan. Suikoden is another surprise, another JRPG that I found that by accident. There was this, I think I still have the copy, but it's in a box down there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, can you see that box in there below the backpack? Okay, so that's my piracy collection. Believe it or not. So it's gonna be a pain in the ass to go and look for it. But let's just say that I found this game in a flea market, and it was a pirated copy, a bootleg copy, and it said Suikoden Tactics. Or not? Did it say something else? Anyway, but the cover was completely random. Not the actual cover of the game. It was just a random cover. You know, that some douchebag, you know, put in there. I don't know, maybe the guy who printed the cover couldn't find the original cover. I don't know, man. And then all of a sudden, you know, I bought the game. I was like, what is this? I don't think it had a back cover. So I was like, this is a blind buy, but it's like $1. So sure, I took it home and I found out about Suikoden Tactics, and I looked it up online. I was like, oh, it was a part of the series. And then I downloaded the ROM and burned it into a CD for Suikoden 2. Because Suikoden 1, I couldn't find it. And my Suikoden 2 copy was in Spanish, so it didn't work. I had to download another fucking program. software and install it on a CD and put the CD first on my PlayStation and then take it out and then put the Suikoden 2 bootleg copy on my PlayStation so it could work in Spanish. And I found out about the series Suikoden by accident. So yeah, I never knew Erick started collecting amiibos. Not really, I don't collect amiibos. I got them as a Christmas gift from my buddy Oscar. He doesn't know a lot about Fire Emblem. He's just watching. He just saw, oh, these are Fire Emblem characters, so it'll be a good gift. So thanks, Oscar. You're probably not watching, but if you do, thanks, man. Great gift. I do not collect amiibos, but it was a great gift because Fire Emblem. I do not give a rat's ass about Super Smash Bros. Though. I just don't. I play the original games, 64, GameCube, and I think I played one on the 3DS, and I'm sorry, it's a series I can't get into. I tried. I don't like Super Smash. The Trail series is another JRPG series that, no, I don't think I discovered by accident. I went to a Blockbuster. Oh yeah, man, when Blockbuster was a thing. I lived in an apartment in the 4th floor, the last floor, and the mall was just right in front of me, around like a block away. So there was a Blockbuster in there. So I walked in there, and I used to buy games. I was a reseller back then, and I bought a lot of games to resell because most of them were dirt cheap on Blockbuster. What kind of reseller didn't love Blockbuster? We all did, man. It was a blast. Great provider, a merchandise provider. So he was there, and I was just sitting there. Oh no, I walked in, and I had a friend in there who only worked there for like a few months. Afterwards, he quit and left, and I never saw him again. We became friends because he was also a gamer, and he liked RPGs too. We talked every now and then. So as I walked in, somebody had just sold this guy, my friend, a few games. And the seller walked out the door as I walked in. And I was like, oh, what do you got? Oh, yeah, just got them. The seller just walked out of the store, and I got these games. And there was this one on the PSP complete in box called The Legend of Heroes 2, Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch. And I was like, what is this? This looks like an RPG. I have no idea what the hell is this, right? So he said, oh, I have no idea either. It looks like a generic RPG. And yeah, it turned out to be kind of generic, but good nonetheless. So I bought it. I think it was like 129 Mexican pesos, which back then, that was probably like 11 years ago. Yeah, probably 11 years ago. And it was just 129 Mexican pesos, which back then was like, I don't know, $7, okay? $6-7 US dollars. And I bought it. And I played it and I liked it, and I remember saying, okay, so what is this? Why is it called what's up with this fucking title, man? The Legend of Heroes 2, Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch, longest fucking name ever. So I was like, The Legend of Heroes 2, so there's got to be a Legend of Heroes 1, right? And I found that it was a trilogy. There was a trilogy, Legend of Heroes 1, A Tear of Vermilion, then the second one was Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch, and then the third one, A Song of the Ocean, right? And then there was this one called Trails in the Sky. Yeah, I remember now. That's how I found out about the Legend of Heroes. It wasn't thanks to Trails in the Sky. It was thanks to Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch. That's how I found out about Trails in the Sky. And I was like, okay, so... But this one, Trails in the Sky, doesn't seem to be part of the same trilogy. So, all excitedly, I downloaded the game, and the rest is fucking history. Yeah. Anyway, so you could say that I found out about the Legend of Heroes in general, not just Trails, by accident, by walking into Blockbuster and totally blindingly buying a game that I knew nothing about. Bought a bunch of games last night, but it was pretty late, okay? And I got 2 environmental puzzle games. One of them is called Never Alone, which was made by people from Alaska, based on the Alaska tribes and whatnot. I haven't played it. But the one that I've been playing, and I've been loving passionately since last night, and this morning I was playing it again. Oh man, what a beautiful game. You know me, I'm a diehard fan of environmental puzzles, and in fact, You know how fighting games are my second favorite video game genre ever? For the past few years, man, I feel like environmental puzzles, especially the ones in 2D, Limbo, Inside, Little Nightmares, they have started to take over, man. I think they have become my second favorite video game genre. Seriously. And this one that I bought is called Shady Part of Me. Fucking beautiful game. It's beautiful, it's a little bit sad, little by little, you know, environmental puzzle games, right? You don't know what the game's about, what the story is really about, until you start progressing through the game. You know, kind of like Eco, Shadow of the Colossus. Those games are action games, but they're also environmental puzzles in 3D. But also like that, The Last Guardian, you know, you start a game and you're like, what's going on here? Who are these characters? You know, what the fuck, man? And then as you start progressing, you find out what the game's about and what the story's about. So, Shady Part of Me, I got it for like $4 too. And I had a good feeling about it. I watched the trailer, because most games have a trailer and some screenshots in there before you buy them. And I looked at all of them, and I just had a really great feeling about it. And I was like, man, $4? Nah, I'll keep looking. And I kept thinking and thinking and thinking. And as I went through the entirety of the games that were like $5 or less, I just kept thinking about it until I reached a point where I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, man, I gotta buy that fucking game. And I went back and I added it to the cart and I paid. And that's the first game that I played out of the 4 games that I got. That's the first one that I went into, and you gotta play that game, guys. You like Little Nightmares? You like Limbo, Inside? You gotta play this fucking game. It's not really a horror game, okay? Those games are horror themed. This has some very small horror elements, but not really. But the gameplay is amazing. It's about this little girl who seems to be kind of trapped in her own dreams about a hospital she was in. Well, she has a shadow, and her shadow, you know, seems to be like another character. And then you control both. With the shadow, you do the platforming in 2D, and with the girl, you do the movement around. You move around in 3D, but she can't jump, but she can solve puzzles. So the 2D shadow can advance. Genius, and the music is beautiful. Strongly recommended this game, guys. I haven't even finished it. I don't need to. The game is fucking wonderful. Shady Part of Me. Which is better, Crystar or Crymachina? Crystar, definitely. Crymachina was, I liked it and I finished it, but it was such a huge disappointment. It was fucking broken. Extremely difficult, extremely cheap, and then extremely easy. Half of the enemies and bosses, you one-shot them, you kill them in 2 fucking hits, and then the next boss kills you in 2 fucking hits, and so on until the fucking end of the game. Play that game on easy. It's not worth playing on normal or hard. And then unless you're really good at action RPGs, man. And then the story was great, but it focused way too much on the lesbian romance. Way too much, and it kind of ruined it. And like I said in my review, even if the romance had been straight between guys and girls, it would have been the same. Like, oh my god, why is it focusing on this? Crystar has some small focus on romance and shit, and some relationships, and some mature stuff. And one of the main characters, the girl who fights with her fists, I forget her name. I think she was like pregnant or something. I mean, it didn't focus that much on the romance, right? And Crymachina went full on lesbian, and it didn't give a fuck about anything else. It completely forgot about its own plot. So Crymachina is not a bad game, but it's not great either. Crystar, on the other hand, is a much better game in everything. Maybe the combat is a little bit better. No, not the combat. The controls are a little bit better in Crymachina. They feel more refined, but the combat is still better on Crymachina. On Crystar. Even though Crystar can be a pain in the ass because it's a dungeon crawler. Not in first person, obviously, but you traverse large dungeons and labyrinths, okay? In Crymachina, most dungeons, you beat them in like 2 minutes. 1 minute later, You start the dungeon, 1 minute later you're already fighting the boss. So, I don't know, man. Watch my review if you will need to know more. There's a $20 DLC for Persona 5 Tactica. Oh, fucking hell, Atlas. You guys recognize this song? You gotta know. I mean, this fucking song. Come on, someone has to know. Nobody? Come on. It's from a game that came out this year and sold. Well, if you're watching this on my second channel, it came out last year. It came out in February 2023. It's an RPG. Turn-based. I just gave you a lot of hints. Come on, you need to know. But you wouldn't think of it. I mean, you listen to this song, it's like, sounds like one of those 90s movies. Erotic movies. Come on, no one knows, really? Come on, guys. No, not Fire Emblem, not SMT, Partitio, there we go. This is from Octopath Traveler 2, it's Partitio's theme. When first time I heard this song, when I played his chapters, I was like, man, that sax. Oh man, what the fuck? Man, whoever composed this song is an old fart. The soundtrack was composed by Yasunori Nishiki, right? The entire soundtrack, so he made this song. What the fuck, man? Great song, nonetheless. It doesn't fit the game, but it's a great song nonetheless. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Yomawari? I didn't like the first game. I played the demo and I streamed it on Twitch, and I had a lot of trouble with it. I was like, man, it was just too cryptic, didn't know what to do, I felt kind of useless. I don't know, it's a good game, and I liked its ideas, and its art style, the ghosts, some of the ghosts look horrific, and that's awesome, but for some reason I couldn't get into it. Would you recommend Chained Echoes? I haven't played it. When are you going to get Persona 5 Tactica? When it's like $10, man. Do you think Nintendo doesn't care about creating RPGs? I think they do. You know, but most of their first party stuff is either Zelda or Mario or Kirby, or they don't have a single original IP when it comes to RPGs. Every single role-playing game, well, maybe with the exception of Zelda, but Zelda is debatable, right? A lot of people don't think it's an RPG. Leaving Zelda aside, they don't have a single original IP. Or maybe they do, but they are developed by subsidiaries. Like Pokemon is not developed by Nintendo, that's Game Freak. Okay? So Fire Emblem, that's Intelligent Systems. Mario RPG, that was Squaresoft back in the day. The Mario and Luigi games, say Alpha Dream. Paper Mario, Intelligent Systems. Advance Wars, Intelligent Systems. Xenoblade, Monolith Soft. Yeah. So to answer your question, I think they do care about creating them, but not by themselves. And honestly, they don't need to. They have a shit ton of subsidiaries to take care of that. But I would love to see a role-playing game developed by Nintendo themselves and not a subsidiary. That would be interesting. But yeah, I think you're wrong. I think Nintendo does care about RPGs a lot, but they just don't care about creating one themselves without the help of other teams or subsidiaries or studios. Have you played Atelier Marie Remake? No, Kiss, I didn't play it, and I honestly didn't care much about it. I know I may come as a big Atelier fan, but I'm not. I'm a die-hard fan of some of them, but Atelier, I didn't get a review code, and the game's still kind of expensive, so I'm just not gonna go out of my way to pay $40 for a game that I don't really care that much about. So I'm just gonna wait for the price to drop considerably, and we'll see from there. I feel like in 2017, everyone and their moms knew about Persona 5 and Nier Automata. Those two games have gotten stupidly popular, especially Persona 5. Everybody compares every single JRPG in existence nowadays to Persona 5. Like I said, Persona 5 became the new Chrono Trigger. Like, it gets compared to everything nowadays. And when it comes to action RPGs, Dark Souls and Nier Automata, everything gets compared to those two. Or the Tales or Ys games. Have you played 7 Pirate Age? No, I knew about it. I saw it, I think it came out last year, but I didn't play it, no. Thank you, Yum Yum. As a physical game collector, what are your thoughts on disc rot? How do you handle your games not getting that issue? I don't think those games... Okay, my collection is there. You can see it there. That's my collection. Okay? And there's just no way to get dampening here or humidity here, because this room in particular is kind of cold, but it's not that cold. It's not hot either. And during the summer, it doesn't get that hot, and I have a fan. So, okay, in terms of that, I don't think it's gonna happen. But disc rot is something that might happen no matter what. So, right now, I don't know if any of my video games have that issue. I haven't checked them. I will have to get them all out and test them, or at least look at them if any of them have gotten any disc rot. Hopefully not a single one has gotten to that point. If I ever see something happening like that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm gonna go online and find some tips, to avoid that. But right now I have what I'm trying to say is that I have my collection in a good place, and I don't think I'll get any disc rot, but I don't know much about it. I don't know what the causes are for it, or the conditions. I have no idea.